Hey guys, what's up? This is your boy Montre, coming to you once again with a very deep discussion. A couple of weeks ago I was talking about the Mandela effect. If you are still unfamiliar with the Mandela effect, you can go back and watch those videos, or do a simple search on YouTube about the Mandela effect. Quick overview: reality is not what you think it is. Actually, reality is not set in stone. It can be changed, and a lot of people are becoming consciously aware that reality is not what they remember it, and a lot of things have changed. And if it hasn't changed for you, that's okay, but a lot of people have become very conscious of the fact that reality is not stable. So it's confused a lot of people about what's going on. Now, recently, some other things have been popping up on my news feed regarding another theory that's a little controversial, but I didn't think anything of it, but I decided I was going to go ahead. I kept seeing more and more posts about it, so I decided I was going to listen to what people were saying on YouTube about it, and that's regarding the flat earth theory. Now, you might be thinking, that's ridiculous. Why would anybody even discuss that or even believe that? And I thought the same thing until I started listening to some of these debates and discussions going back and forth between people who honestly believe that the earth could be perhaps a flat plane covered by a dome. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, well, we've already proven that to be false. There's pictures and stuff. NASA has all these pictures. A lot of these people claim that NASA faked the moon landing, as well as NASA is just a government entity that is just faking everything. They are being paid to keep us blindsided. And even though that may sound like a very large assumption, ask yourself, do you trust the government? Do you believe that the government is telling you the truth about everything? Whether it's in regards to politics, whether it's in regards to extraterrestrial life, or how the money's being spent, something as simple as that, or who these politicians are, or how they get elected. Do you really trust the government? And so, if the answer is no, then whether the flat earth theory is true or not is not going to really change how you feel about the government. You know what I mean? If you do trust the government, then you believe that everything they say is true. If you believe the media, if you believe the news, and then you believe everything that they say is true, then you probably will have more of a problem with this theory. But for people who, like myself, don't really trust the media, I don't trust the news for what they tell me, because I know they're corporate owned, as well as many institutions in America. With that being said, you can also do some YouTube searches, but since a great majority of my followers or subscribers are African American, black, what have you, people of color, and I have a nice good mix of people, but a great majority of you guys, I realize we don't talk about these things and we don't really discuss these things, so I want to make sure you guys are in the know of what's going on. So I've done a lot of the research for you. I'm just presenting the information to you. You don't have to believe it. I'll just present the information. So anyways, the flat earth theory basically says that the planet is shaped like a bowl, kind of like a bowl, and in the middle is a North Pole. Okay? And they said, well, what if you fall off the edge? Well, you can't fall off the edge, because the only thing that we've proven is going around the world, from like China to the United States to Africa and back around, is that the world is circular, but we haven't proven that the world is a sphere. So it'd be the same thing as if you went to the mall, and the mall is in a circle, and you went all the way around the mall, and you came back to your starting point. That doesn't prove that the mall is a globe. It proves that the mall is circular or square or some other shape. And so that's what the flat earth theory is, that we've gone around the world this way, but we've gone east and west, but we have not gone north and south. Now, the people that have made expeditions to Antarctica have come back in the 1940s or so. I do believe his name is Admiral Byrd, who had an expedition down there. Also, Hitler also had an expedition in Antarctica, and many of them said that they found some very valuable things down there. But however, nobody's gone past Antarctica and come back around and gone back up toward the North Pole. Nobody has gone all the way around the world going north and south. And you can say, well, Montre, the weather is very harsh down there. True, in 1940s and the 1800s, it would be nearly impossible to do this, even though they did have expeditions back then, and the military did go down there. However, now we have the technology to go all the way into sub-zero temperatures. We've gone underwater, we've used submarines, we've gone into outer space, so we have the technology to go to sub-zero temperatures. The thing is, why has anybody gone around the world north to south? This is the explanation that the Flat Earth theory says. The North Pole is in the center, and around the entire planet is a border of ice. And this is what Antarctica is. The entire planet, or the plane, is surrounded by a border of ice. Now, they use biblical scripture and about in Genesis, where it talks about, and God created the firmament, which is a dome on top of the earth. So they also say that not only is the planet flat, it is surrounded by ice, which is Antarctica, which keeps people from going any further, and it keeps the water from falling off, or keeps anybody from falling off the planet. But it also is covered by a dome. Now, before you go running and saying this is just a crazy thing, this is also in the Bible, and there's also other mythologies that, in Hinduism, the Vedas speak somewhat of a flat Earth. I also found some other mythology, like the Egyptians, where they believed that the heavens were rolled up on top of the earth. Also, there's an Akkadian myth about the gods taking well, no, it was a Babylonian myth about the gods taking the heavens and stretching it out. So there's some other stories about a dome actually being on top of the earth. Now, they claim that this dome is you can't go through it. I can't get the word right now out of my lips, but you can't go through it. So this is why they say it's impossible that we have gone to the moon and come back or wherever, because we can't get past this dome. So there's some very interesting things there. Now, I also wanted to speak about why I'm not fully on board with this yet is because there's also other myths and legends out there, including the Anunnaki, the Sumerian legends. Now, for those who know me, I write about the fallen angels, and I write about the Nephilim, which are, the fallen and their children, the half-breed, half-human creatures. I have books about that, so you can Google that and buy those books if you like. Just Google my name or ask me, and I'll direct you to those books. But the Anunnaki, the Sumerian legends, the Sumerian tablets, which were translated by Zecharia Sitchin, really talk about Nibiru, the planet Nibiru, and talk about other planets in the solar system that are round or sphere, and also talks about the Earth. It doesn't really specifically talk about a dome. The only thing I can assess with that if we take that account to be true or somewhat true, there is a grain of salt with that, because from what I heard, Zecharia Sitchin was also a Mason, and if he was a high-ranking Mason, maybe he was doing things or to kind of distract people from the truth. But like I said, that goes into speculation and the major conspiracy theories when it comes to the Masons and how they are interconnected to this entire big story. So I don't know, I had to take it with a grain of salt. So but like I said, there's these Sumerian legends, which are supposed to be the oldest civilization known to man that created writing. They do speak of, they are the only ones that knew of how many planets we had in the solar system and stuff, whereas everybody else was the Greeks and everybody else was the Bible, Israel. They were all believing in a flat earth at one point or another. So is there some truth in the flat earth? Could there be some truth in it? I mean, who's to say right now? Like I said, with the Mandela effect, I know that reality is what you make it. Reality can be changed. According to myths and legends, the gods came down and they had a war, and this planet, where the form that it was in, got destroyed, and they had to reform it or terraform it. And that's even kind of biblical, you know. In the beginning, the earth was without form and void. They didn't say what happened before that, what made it become out of form and void. But other legends speak of this great war that the gods had, whether it was Marduk or Enlil or Ninurta. There was this great war that they had with Tiamat, or some great beast, and they destroyed this beast, and with it the planet was destroyed, and they had to reform it and create the earth that we have now. And from that, they created us. So there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of legends and myths and stories about how mankind came to be, how the planet came to be. And right now, just like I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to put two and two together and see how they all relate right now. Because there's a lot of stuff going on. I've had friends, I've seen videos where people believe that the planet Nibiru, which is supposed to be the 10th planet, is coming back into the solar system. We've seen a lot of changes with the Mandela effect, and also the pole shift. The pole shift is something, I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you, I'm sorry. The pole shift is something that's been happening as well. A lot of there's some changes happening on the North Pole. A friend of mine, Ever, sent me an article. I'll post a link to that as well in the description about the North Pole heating up. And people say climate change, but it's most likely the electromagnetic waves of the planet, or the electromagnetic field of the planet, is reducing. And because of that, the North Pole is shifting. And when the North Pole shifts, if the flat earth theory is correct, because they say that the North Pole controls the sun and the moon, and the sun and the moon actually go around the North Pole. And if that's true, then if the North Pole shifts, then the sun is going to change its position in the sky, and so will the moon. Thus, you're going to have storms in different areas. You're going to have different areas heat up. You're going to have different areas cool down. It's going to cause some strange things to happen. Also, when the electromagnetic field reduces, I think it's also a control factor on our minds, because we also have an electromagnetic field that is affected by the electromagnetic field of the planet. And if that reduces, I think a lot of the deceptions that have been clouding our judgment, clouding our minds, will be lifted, and we'll be able to see the hidden things about this world, which kind of, with the Mandela effect, we have been seeing already. So it's like the Matrix. The wool that's been pulled over our eyes is being removed. So I've spoken a long time, and I've hit you guys a lot of information. Probably should have made 2 videos, but anyways, give me your 2 cents about what you think about what I said. Whether it's crazy or whatever, I don't care. You know me, I'm pretty deep, and I'm out there, and I don't know, I've done a lot of research on this stuff, but it's crazy. It blows my mind sometimes, and I'm not quite sure what to believe yet, and I haven't made my decision, you know, and that's okay. So you don't have to either. I'm just giving you the information. Make sure you guys are in the know. So remember, if you don't do it, then who will? Talk to you guys later. Peace out.